Hello and welcome, music creators of all kinds. I'm Marshall Shaw with more music creation ideas to help celebrate the arts in you. Today's subject is writing sad music. My context is the death of a hero. So I have to think of orchestration that's going to bring this out well. And I will follow a recipe. The recipe is quite usual. It's typical of many composers over the last 150 years who have written for this genre, especially motif writing or theme writing for various characters. So in this case, I'm going to use the Berlin strings to be the bed and background of the emotional context of this piece, along with a harp to play the broken chords. To represent the hero's theme, I'm going to follow in the footsteps of great composers like Wagner, Strauss, and to our present day, for the last 50 years, John Williams, Jerry Goldsmith, James Horner, who would choose the French horn. And the flute will provide the caring companion role and give us some echo of the melody, almost a conversational approach. For the key of this piece, I will choose a minor key to represent the saddened situation of our lost hero. And C minor will serve me well for this because it's a good key for the horn to play very broadly. And when I take the horn part into an upper register, it will maintain that solid sound. In choosing a time signature, 4/4 is fine. I would like to now talk about the chord progression. This progression is quite heroic. It can be used in a number of situations. I will notate all the string parts first. Remember that the cellos and basses are 1 octave difference in sound, even though they're reading the same music. Also, in the viola part, I tend to use the treble clef versus the alto clef. And when I'm ready to print, I'll just switch it. So I will speed up at this moment and meet you at the end. Let's listen to it now for the first time. Remember, there's no dynamics or automation layer yet. I hope you can understand my intentions better explained with chords and musical notation than words. In writing the horn part, I want to use rhythms that are smaller than whole notes, quarter notes, half notes, as well as the odd group of eighth notes to give motion and movement to the melody. In representing the melody in its contour or shape, I'd like to use intervals larger than a third, generally speaking, so that it really accents the power of the emotion, using intervals larger than a third, hopefully fifths and leaps of octaves or sevenths. It's only a draft form right now, so it's bound to change, especially when I bring in the flute part to add a conversational element to it. So let's continue. I'm very happy with this horn part, Please notice that in the first 4 bars, the intervals are no larger than thirds and seconds. But in bars 5 to 8, I increase it so that I'm using leaps of 6 and 7ths as well as fourths. So let's listen to it. I'll make all dynamic adjustments later in the automation layer, as well as some tempo changes. So right now, watch how quick the harp part can be constructed just by breaking up the chords. I'm happy with this harp part the way it is, but you could make it more complicated if you wanted. For instance, in bar 4, you could put a half note sweep. In other words, a harp glissando leading into the 5th bar, which would certainly give it a Hollywood sound for sure. I'm just going to finish off here by adding some dynamic changes, which will help. But again, the best part will be when you use the automation layer to add the most intricate volume changes as well as grandiose crescendos as you see fit. So let's hear what it sounds like at this stage. Okay, I'm happy with that for now. I'll make some changes later in the viola part. The B flat to the B natural is not sounding right. And the harp part needs some volume changes. In writing the flute part, it needs to take on a conversation with the dire situation of the horn's character. So the flute, being a compassionate, empathetic soul, will basically answer back reassuringly, if that's still possible. And that's going to help convey even more emotion through the horn part. So let's see how this works out. This is a good opportunity to look at bar 7 for the flute and the French horn parts. The use of an octave leap in the flute part and the 6th in the horn part add to the emotional elements of this piece. And also in studying intervals, the larger the leap, the more emotional effect it will have on the listener. And in bar 8, the horn has a leap of a 6th, and above that, the flute takes a leap of an octave and a 6th. That is certainly my intention here, to produce a very moving and emotional piece of music. Let me do some tidying up of a few things, and then we'll hear the next draft of it. I've just adjusted the tempo to be 100 beats per minute, and now we can hear this draft. There are some errors still, so let me fix them. In the final performance, you'll hear 2 versions of it, one being the one we've worked on, and the second where the strings use the tremolo technique. I hope you enjoy them. hope you have enjoyed this video on writing a sad, emotional, or even heroic piece of music. My hope is to give you ideas that will inspire you to create music from these videos to fit your personal needs. Please take a moment to subscribe if you haven't already, like if you've enjoyed and learned something, and select the bell icon to let you know when I have produced another video. Also, most video compositions created here are placed on SoundCloud. In the next video, I will present something about creating background music from a variety of apps, including Logic Pro X and GarageBand. Keep making music and celebrate the arts in you. See you in the next video. Take care.